Switching over to terrorism and on the topic of anti-Semitism, how did Mike asked from Fort Worth, how did the Biden national security team let a British citizen known terrorist slip into our country without being flagged, and what can we do to stop other radical Islamic terrorists from freely entering our country under this administration after the awful terror attack at Beth Israel Colleyville?
Benji, it's a great question. And what happened in Colleyville, the congregation Beth Israel, it was horrible. It was an anti-Semitic terror attack. They were targeted because they were Jews. The entire world held their breath during the hours that standoff went on. And I will say I have, in the days since, I've spoken with Rabbi Charlie, I've spoken with each of the 4 individuals who were hostages in that synagogue. It is extraordinary. It is a miracle, and let us just pause and give thanks that ended with all 4 of them coming out alive.
Amen.
When that started, one of the reasons we were all horrified is we've seen too many instances all across the world where it doesn't end that way. And it could have ended so much more horribly. And I think we had extraordinary courage from law enforcement. I spoke while the standoff was ongoing to the special agent in charge of the FBI. I wanted to make sure, do you have all the federal assets you need? Do you have all the law enforcement resources you need? Are there any tools you need to resolve this situation and get the hostages out safely? And at the time, they had the hostage rescue team flying in from Quantico. They were in the air when I spoke with them. They said, look, we've got every asset, every resource we need. And I will say the 4 of them, the courage that those hostages showed was extraordinary. Now, it also speaks to the value of the training that horrifically we now see at synagogues. I went the next Shabbat to the Beth Israel congregation in Houston just to show my solidarity, to say I stand with the Jewish community, that all of us are grieving over this horrible attack. But it was one of the things striking, talking with the rabbi, talking with the hostages, how because they had training of what to do, they knew where the exit door was. They sat by the exit door. They were able, at the very end, the rabbi threw a chair at the terrorists, and they were able to escape. And then law enforcement came in and dealt with the terrorists. It was extraordinary. There was enormous bravery. Now, the question you ask is a damn good question. There are red flags all over on this guy, histories of mental illness, histories of terrorism. The short answer is we don't know the answer. I can tell you I have joined in multiple letters to the Attorney General, to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, to the Department of Homeland Security, saying, how did this guy get in here? What did you know? What list was he on? What information did you have about his criminal history, about radicalism? I don't want to jump to conclusions on a law enforcement or terrorism issue. You want to give it time to know the facts. But it raises very serious questions why he was allowed to come in here. We haven't gotten an answer yet. I can tell you, when I'm back in D.C., the next hearing we have. Now, part of the problem is, because the Democrats are in the majority, I can't call a hearing. I can show up to the hearings they call. And when I do, I try to gently question the witnesses. So these are exceptionally good questions. I can tell you I'm asking them, I'm going to keep asking them and pressing, and the American people deserve an answer. Right now we don't know the answers.